Is there any voice? I think there is no voice
Sir,
coming.
sir, good afternoon, Dr. Samaria, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Your friend and colleague, Dr. Afzal Sikandar is
Yeah,
the speaker today. And I was
yes,
hoping that
exactly.
when you will be joining, I will be calling Dr. Sikandar also. That we have a bunch of your colleagues, Dr. Samaria, Dr. Girish Parmar, and along with us.
Yes, sir. So, Afzal, how are you? Hello,
अभी
Afzal.
अभी समरिया जी उनके उस नेटवर्क में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, अभी ज्वाइन करते हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा।
Doctor Saab, are you sharing?
I'm
Dr.
sharing
Afzal,
the
am I audible?
yes, sir, you are audible. I am sharing in just 1 second, sir.
Okay. No issue, sir. Uh,
Sorry for the disturbance and
no,
for the delay.
not at all, not at all. So, dear participants, we are indeed feel very privileged to have Dr. Afzal Sikandar with us. And let me read out a brief biography of Dr. Sikandar. Dr. Afzal Sikandar is working as assistant professor with the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar, that is NIT Jalandhar, Punjab. Previously, he was holding the position of assistant professor in electrical engineering department at Government Engineering College, Bijnor, and associate professor in electrical engineering department at Graphic Era University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand. He received his BTech in instrumentation and control from HNB Garhwal University, Srinagar in 2006 and MTech degree from MD University, Rohtak, Haryana with specialization in instrumentation and control in 2011. He earned his PhD degree from Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Roorkee, with specialization in control engineering in year 2016. Dr. Sikandar have over 12 years of teaching and research experience in diverse field of control engineering. His area of interest include control theory and applications, circuit design, model order reduction, optimization, robotics, renewable energy. He is actively involved in various research projects funded by CSIR, ISRO, ISRO, MHRD, etc. He has guided 8 MTech PG theses and 2 PhD theses. He immensely contributed more than 67 research articles in reputed international journals and conference, which have out of which 19 are SCI index journals publication. He received his Best Paper Award from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi in 2014. He authored 2 books on soft computing, energy system drives, and automation is in Sprinter. So, participants, dear participants, we are highly delighted to have Dr. Sikandar among us, and he's kind enough to accept our invitation on a very first node, and today he will be delivering his expert lecture on converter control technology techniques for LED drivers. So I welcome you, Dr. Sikandar, And as I earlier introduced you, a few of your known, Dr. Samaria and Dr. Girish Parmar is also along with us in the on the same platform. So welcome you to the this FDP and request you to start your presentation.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, you are audible, Dr. Sab. Yes, Dr. Afzal, am I audible?
Hello, is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it is audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the this nice introduction, and I'm very privileged that you have invited me as an expert lecturer. And I'm very much thankful to Dr. Samaria sir, Dr. Girish Parmar sir, and in fact, I am not able to, deliver a kind of expert lecture in front of such, such great personality.
Welcome, Dr. Afzal.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you
are
so much.
you
I'm good, sir. How are you?
fine? Okay, we continue,
Okay.
please.
Dr. Afzal, good afternoon. Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am also attending this course.
Oh, that's great, sir. That's great. It's my
Okay, okay,
pleasure.
okay. Please continue. Please continue.
Yes, sir. I hope my screen is visible, sir.
Now it is visible. Visible.
Okay. So, very good afternoon to all of you, and I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Palwalial, sir, that he has given this opportunity to me to discuss this my experiences or my the research work along with the some the problem description with the participants, and especially thanks to the participants to spare your time. So I would like, I'm not going to teach anything over here because most of the seniors are also attending this course. So I'm just trying to discuss few ideas or discuss few things that are related to my topic. So today I'm just going to discuss the converter control techniques specifically used for the LED driver. So basically, the problem related to the LED driver is that we in most of the as far as the energy efficiency is concerned, so we are very bothered about the energy efficiency about the LED driver also. So the efficiency basically directly related to the signal which is basically suitable for the LED which is coming from the driver part. So for that purpose, we have so many techniques available in the literature as far as the designing of the driver of the LED driver is concerned. So for that purpose, I just try to connect it with the some control techniques, specifically for the converter control techniques. And obviously, so many converters are also available in the literature. So it is a big question mark then how to decide which converter is suitable, right? Second important part is we have so many control techniques available in the literature also. So there is again a big question mark how to decide the control techniques specifically for a particular problem. So today I am just concentrating specifically for the LED driver problem. So as far as this power electronics application is concerned, so we are bothering about the operating frequency as well as the power capacity, right? So this figure is basically taken from the book M. Rashid. It is a very famous book of the power electronic circuit device and application. So here they are just trying to explain that as far as the problem operating frequency is concerned, we are selecting a particular device as GTO, MOSFET, FET, or maybe different applications we are deciding depending upon the operating frequency. uh, yes sir. If there will be any destruction or some kind of problem will be there, you can just, sir, please call me. Palwalia sir, I hope it is okay, everything is okay.
Uh, Everything is very okay. We have
Yeah, okay,
called all the participants already in previous sessions that they
okay,
will be writing during the session. If they have any question, they will be writing in the chat box. And
yeah,
once I received, I may interrupt you for that particular question. All otherwise,
yeah, sure.
post your presentation, there will be open house and we will have a, question, answer, and
Yes,
discussions. Okay.
okay, yes sir, yes sir, that would be okay. But as far as connectivity is concerned also, because I'm not able to see the list of the participants, and I'm just watching this my screen only, that PPT, right? So if there will be any issue with the connectivity, please let me know, sir. Okay, so as far as the application operating frequency is concerned, we are deciding a particular suitable kind of device which can be used as a switch. So why we are going for this particular application? Because we are having number of type of converters available in the literature, right? We will be having diode rectifier, AC to DC converter, AC to AC converter, DC to DC static switches, and many more maybe available nowadays in the literature, right? So specifically I am just moving towards the DC to DC converter, basically DC chopper. As we have discussed so many times, the basic the operation of this DC-DC converter in many applications. So what is the role of this DC-DC converter, right? Why we need the DC-DC converter? Because it depends upon the application. As I told you, depending upon the application area, we are just trying to decide that which type of converter we need. Basically, it is a kind of controlling of LED driver is nothing but it is a kind of generating a suitable signal which is very suitable to our the problem, right, or the system which we would like to control. So control is ultimately to generate a suitable control law or to generate basically a control signal so that it will be uh, you know uh, maybe helpful for getting the desired output, we can say, right? So in this way, these are some basic definitions. So I'm not going into the basic definitions, as we have studied in the classrooms also, and we have discussed with the students also. So many techniques are available, so many converters are available in the literature depending upon their you know uh, conversion policy. So basically, I'm just emphasizing on this specifically for the DC-DC converter. Now the DC-DC converter is basically divided into two parts, basically depending upon the energy transfer, whether the energy transfer through the magnetic field or this energy is stored in the magnetic field, right? So depending upon these concepts, again they have been divided into subcategories, right? It may be non-inverting, speed up, that is called boost converter. It may be having buck converter, that is inverting, or we may have single ended SEPI converter, that is a very popular kind of buck converter, boost converter, SEPI converter, cuck converter. So many converters are available in the literature, right? So, and obviously we will be having some true buck boost converter and split pipe buck boost converters also. So why we are going for the different type of converter? Again, it depends upon the application, it depends upon the problem statement, exactly what we want from the particular circuit, right? So again, it is a big question mark that which type of converter is suitable for which particular application. So there is a scope of the research over there. Then we can have the better understanding of the system, we can have the better understanding of the converter also, right? So depending upon this thing, we can choose a particular converter over there, or it may be possible that we can explore the performance of a particular circuit with the help of their different converters also. And in fact, we can design our own controller also, right? We can design our own converter also, right? So let us discuss about the DC-DC converter specifically. As in many industrial applications, this DC-DC converter is basically required to convert a fixed voltage DC source into a variable voltage DC source. So why we need this variable voltage sometimes? Because it depends upon, as I told you, it depends upon the application. Suppose we need a specific particular level of the voltage in that particular application. So for that purpose, we have to have the the variable DC source. Although we are having a particular fixed source, suppose we are getting from some renewable energy sources or some battery or some other sources may be there. So if we are having a particular fixed voltage source, but we need the variable voltage source, so what is the solution? So solution is basically the DC-DC converter, right, which can be used to step up or step down a particular level of the DC voltage source. And application, obviously, it depends upon various application depends upon the requirement. So so many applications are there in maybe traction motor control, it may be electrical vehicles, it may be marine host, or maybe any different applications are there. But now that is the main important part. What are the advantages of this DC-DC converter? Because we are now interested in the high efficiency, as I told you that as far as the efficiency is concerned of the LED driver circuit, so we need the high efficient LED driver, right? And secondly, important part is, and nowadays everyone is want the fast dynamic of a particular system. So that is basically the main advantage of using this DC-DC converter, that we can have the high efficiency as well as the fast dynamic response also. That I'll explain with the help of some examples also, right? So how we are getting the DC-DC converter for the high efficiency as well as the fast dynamic response. So here basically this is the basic principle of the step down operation, how we are getting the step down operation. So this is a very basic circuit, right? That is the big question mark in our mind. Then how the research is coming into the picture from this converter and all. So that is basically the part over here. Suppose I'll just take this load resistance R over here. So this load resistance R is basically, we can consider simply, we can consider different type of loads also, so accordingly our waveform will change. But here I am just considering an example of simple resistive load, and we can have this resistive load as a any application. So what will happen practically, it is just a very simple switch over here. We will be having Vs supply over here, and then we are getting the resistive the voltage across this resistance with the help of this switch. So that is basically the main problem, that who will press this switch, who is basically controlling this switch. So first, if I don't know any type of control, if I don't have any kind of algorithm, I don't have any kind of hardware, so what I am doing over here, I'll just manually push this switch, right? Manually I will just push this switch. So what will be the timing of the switch on and off, right? Closing time and the opening time of this switch, that is basically depends upon me, for how much time I am just closing the switch and for how much time I am just opening the switch. So depending upon the opening time and closing time, depending upon the closing time and opening time, we are getting the voltage across the resistor, right? And we are getting the current across the resistor over there. So now that is basically the main part over here. Then this basically, this on off period is basically called a simple duty cycle. So ultimately, if somehow we can control the duty cycle of this particular circuit, we can have the controlling over the voltage across the resistor, or the current across the resistor, right? So in this way, this is basically the main problem, that how to control this switch, right? So when this is the same thing I have written over here. So when I should switch, what will be the suitable duty cycle for this particular switch? So somehow, if I have some kind of algorithm, or some kind of hardware electronic circuitry must be there, so that separate circuitry must be there, so that I can control this switch. So that is the main question mark over here. So now obviously this problem can be solved. This switch can be replaced just by using the transistor, MOSFET, GTO, IGBT, BJT, or any other circuitry must be there, or some kind of hardware which can be designed by using some algorithm, by using some computer programs also, so that we can have the controlling over this switch, right? So this is a big question mark again, which this device I can be used over here. So these are some mathematical calculations by which we can have the exact numerical value of the output voltage and the output current, or we can have the average power, and we can have the average output voltage over there, so that we can calculate it. Now simply this is just the step up operation. We can, how it is possible that if I have a fixed voltage of value over here, and I can get the extra voltage over there. So for that purpose, we have to have the some kind of energy storing element must be there, that is we are using as a inductor over here. So this is basically the again the role of the switch over there. So for how much time I am just closing this switch, and for how much time I am just opening this switch. It is not possible that the inductor will be discharged suddenly. So for that purpose, I have to have the a suitable particular value of this L, right? So I have so many problems over here. First problem is how to decide which device is used for this particular switch, and second important part is for this particular switch, second important part is which type of circuitry, which type of converter I should use, DC-DC converter, right? And if I am going for the converter, what will be the suitable value of this inductor, capacitor, or diode, or maybe different applications if we are considering over here. So this is just the waveform that a particular extra amount that we are getting from the simple circuitry over there. We will just apply some KCL KVL rule, and then we can find out the current and voltage across the load, across the different loads over here. So this is the same thing. These are the mathematical calculations that we can have the voltage across the load that we are considering over here. That is basically directly depending upon the value of L, that is, and di by dt. That is basically current across this load. So that is basically the main important part, how to find out the suitable value of this inductor L over here. Now I'll just try to explain. I'll just try to explain with the help of just one thing, with the help of one video over there. Just 1 second. I hope it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so this is the same thing that I'll just try to explain with the help of a small video, and then we will subsequently go through the solution. Yes. So here we are just considering this bulb as a load over here, and then this is this small battery, fixed battery over here, and then we are just having this IGBT as a switch over there we are using. So if I'll just replace this IGBT with the help of just simple switch, then let's see what is going on over here. And obviously this is the inductor, this is capacitor, and the diode over here. So this IGBT we can control by using the gate voltage over there. So we have just replaced this switch, replaced this IGBT just like a simple switch, on-off switch, push button. So now it will be just a closed path over there. So the current is increasing. So in this way, now this the extra current we are getting over here, and then this voltage is increasing because of the this inductor. Yes. So now over here, what we are doing, we are just getting the output voltage across the load, or the output current we can say across the load, depending upon the current, depending upon the on and off period of this particular switch. So if we will just replace this switch just by using a simple circuitry, or just by using some algorithm, or maybe anything, or maybe some extra circuitry must be there, so that we can have the desired output voltage or current. Right. So now I'll just stop it over here. Now I'll just come back to this problem. So here we can see that what is in our hand. I have written over here. Okay. Okay, so what is in our hand here is that the duty cycle, right? So somehow we will just try to control the duty cycle over there, right? So we will just keep this problem in our mind, and just we will just try to move on. So these are some research work carried out, specifically related to the LED driver circuit by using the converter specifically. Otherwise, there are other possibilities are also there, and then we can go through the different research paper or different literature review available in the literature. So uh, if specifically we will go for the basic configuration of the LED driver circuit. So here I am just using as a AC supply voltage, and then obviously we will be having AC to DC converter, and then we need DC because this DC is not suitable specifically for this LED driver. So the LED driver is basically the heart of this LED lamp, which is responsible to provide the DC voltage to the LED. So there are number of, as I told you, number of converters available in the literature: buck converter, buck boost converter, APIC, or maybe different latest converters are now available in the literature. So now what is basically this epic converter over here? So epic converter is basically the combination of the buck boost converter. Because sometimes in a particular LED lamp we need the higher voltage as well as the lower voltage also, right? And we can have the different application, different if you will just go to the market to purchase an LED lamp. So number of varieties available, and the cost is also varying. So how it is possible that a same rating of the LED is available for for 100 rupees or for 150 rupees, and the same rating of the LED is available for the 300 rupees or 500 rupees maybe there, right? So why we are getting this difference, right? So it means somehow we can have the efficiency and as well as the rating of the voltage, rating of the LED lamp, and sometimes it depends upon the actual supply voltage that is basically provided by the supply to the load or to the LED lamp. So in this way, I thought that somehow we can have somehow we can reduce the number of components over there, right? So for that purpose, this is basically just the basic introduction of this epic converter. So I'm not going into the classroom kind of techniques over there. So here, if you will see that what is the difference, this is the same circuit as I explained with the help of video and with the help of that last schematic diagram also. So this is basically the kind of boost converter, and here this is basically kind of buck converter over there. This is the combination of buck boost converter. So but ultimately we are interested in the output voltage V naught across this load resistance R, and this VD is basically fixed, right? So what is in our hand? Everything is fixed. Suppose everything is fixed over there. So what is in our hand? This VD is fixed. All the components we have already fixed. So we are having this output voltage varying with the help of this switch only, right? As we have seen in the video also, that if we will somehow control the on period and off period of this particular switch, or the gate voltage of this IGBT, if we are going for the IGBT, then we can have the output voltage accordingly. So ultimately, this is basically called as the duty cycle, right? This V dot by VD, if you will just solve this some by using some KVL KCL equations, or by using some the mathematical equations, the relation between V naught and VD is basically we are getting D by 1 minus D, right? So this D, if you will just having this D in our hand, so this VD is fixed, so ultimately we can get the variable output VD over here. So how to control this D? That is again the main problem over there, right? And second important part is there any possibility that if you will just go for the KCL KVL equation, the order of the system will be higher, right? If you will just go for the KVL KCL equation, take the Laplace transformation approach, and we will just take the transfer function of this particular circuit. So it may be possible that we will be having fourth order, fifth order, 10th order, maybe higher order, depending upon the number of components available in this circuit. So if we remember that if we will be having some simple RLC network over there, so if we'll just calculate the transfer function of this RLC network, we will be having the second order transfer function 1 upon S square LC plus SRC plus 1, right? So we can see that if we will be having just simple three components in our circuitry, so we will be having a second order system. If we are just increasing the number of components in our circuitry, we obviously the order of the system will be higher. So is there any possibility, if we will just think in the reverse manner, that is there any possibility we can reduce the number of components in this particular circuit, and the in such a manner so that we will get the same output over there, right? Is there any possibility that we can reduce the number of components over there, or in other words we can say, is there any possibility by which we can reduce the order of the transfer function of the system, or the differential equations which are governing the mathematical formulation or the mathematical modeling of a particular circuit. So this is again a big question, that if somehow we can have the some algorithm, we can have some technique by which we can get the same output, and we can replace this complete circuitry over there, so we can get that, okay, we are reducing the cost ultimately. Why we are going for this concept of the reduction? Because if we can reduce the number of components, ultimately we can reduce the cost, and we can reduce the cost, and obviously there is a big competition in the market, so we can propose our new circuit over there. But that we need to see what will be the suitable value of that, the components, or what are the some components in that particular circuit. That is, we need to be very specific about it. So here comes the concept of the reduced order modeling. So please don't be confused, because I am going to mix up 2-3 things, right? First we are having converter, then we will be having controller, then we will be having the concept of reduced order modeling. So I hope most of the faculty members over here may be aware of the concept of the reduced order modeling, but simply I'll just touch it very quickly. So suppose we will be having any physical system, as I have discussed in case of converter, so that we can go for the mathematical modeling of that system. So if we are going for the mathematical modeling in terms of partial differential equations, so we need to go for the finite element modeling. Otherwise we can directly go through the large number of ordinary differential equations, right? So most of the times we are dealing with the system in which we are getting the ordinary differential equations, right? So if we are getting the ordinary differential equations, large number of ordinary differential equations, and subsequently we can take the Laplace transformation approach, so we can go for the transfer function approach also. But again, we need to keep in mind that whether the initial conditions are zero or not. If we are not having any initial conditions are zero in our particular circuit, then obviously we need to go for the state space approach, right? What will be the minimum number of states which are responsible to represent that particular system. So here if somehow we will be having any method or any technique or any algorithm by which we can reduce this large number of ODs to the reduced number of ODs, so obviously it will be helpful for the simulation as well as for the controller design, right? So now if we will go through the literature, we will be having number of techniques available in the literature, number of methods available in the literature for the reduction of the ordinary differential equations. So that is again a scope of the research, that somehow we can explore the new techniques by which we can reduce the number of large number of ODs into the reduced number of ODs. And let's see how it will be beneficial for the controller design. Obviously it is beneficial for the simulation part, because if we are reducing the number of components, we are reducing the complexity. If we are reducing the complexity, ultimately we will be having the fast dynamic response, or we will be having the simulation time will be less as compared to the complex circuitry. So here are some reasons why we are going for the concept of this reduced order modeling. So I just try to reconnect the concept of this reduced order modeling in terms of controller design and simulation of the LED driver circuit. So this is basically the statement of the model order reduction. You can find it in many books, in many research papers. So ultimately we are having, if we are going for the transfer function approach, as I told you, so we will be having nth order transfer function. So we can go for the reduced order transfer function, which is having suppose the kth order of the system. This k is less than n over here. And this is just the the unknown coefficients maybe there of the reduced order system, that is ci and di, that we need to find out somehow. And here this is basically in case of multiple input multiple output. In case of LED driver circuit, I know that it doesn't hold good, but as far as the mathematical calculations are concerned, as far as the system is concerned, so we can have some type of possibility that we can have the multiple input and multiple output in our system. But in case of LED driver circuit, obviously we will be having some just single input and single output also. So if we will be having MIMO system, then obviously we will be having some transfer matrix, and then this transfer matrix can be converted into the another transfer matrix, so that we can have the lower order of the system. So for that purpose, again, we are considering this k is less than n. Nth is basically the original transfer function. So in this way, I just try to explain a simple example, with the help of just simple example, how we can achieve this reduced order modeling. As I told you, number of techniques available in the literature, maybe thousands of techniques are available in the literature, but this is the very basic thing. And so that we can understand how we can get the Routh stability criteria. By using the Routh stability criteria, we can get the reduced order modeling concept. I hope all of we have studied the Routh stability criteria in the control engineering course of the BTech. Then this is specifically suitable for the stability analysis part. We are just constructing a particular Routh table, and then we are just trying to find out the first column whether there is a number of sign changes there or not. In this first column there is a sign change is there or not. If there is a sign change, we will say okay, the system is unstable. If there is no sign change, we will say okay, the system is unstable. Why it is so? That is again, we need to understand, right? Because the number of sign changes is basically giving the number of routes which are responsible to make the system unstable, right? Number of sign changes basically provide the routes which are responsible to make the system unstable. That is okay, right? But now if we will just see how we are constructing the numerator table. Suppose we will be having numerator polynomial, we will be having denominator polynomial. So how we can use this concept of the stability, Routh stability criteria, and the reduced order modeling. So here we will see that this numerator table is basically constructed just by watching this numerator polynomial, 35 1086, just zigzag zigzag zigzag, right? So and subsequently we have calculated, method is given in the book, that how we can calculate the other parameters of the first column and the other columns and the other rows also. So that we have constructed. But now suppose if I'll just ask you to construct the polynomial just by watching this numerator table, or just by using this table, right? Specifically I have constructed for numerator part. I'll just show you the denominator part also. So how we can construct it? Suppose this is the, we are writing over here, this is, s to the power 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 0. In this way we are just constructing this table. Now we will just reverse it, right? I'll just ask you to write the polynomial of the fifth order, suppose. So how we can construct it? By using this fifth one and then fifth and four, right? So zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. So we can have a polynomial. Again, if I'll just ask you to write the second order. So how we can write the second order? This is 0, 1, 2. So what? 2 and 1. So we can have this one, this one, this one, zigzag, zigzag. No, 3, 2, 2, 0, 6, 9, s square plus this one, then this one. I hope you're getting my point. So in this way we can reverse it. So whether it is suitable or not, whether it is validated or not, so we will just see with the help of denominator polynomial also. Similarly we can construct a different table for the denominator polynomial, and we will go through the same procedure. So suppose if I'll just write the second order system with the help of these two polynomials, just by going to the reverse process, right? So I have just mentioned over here the first order polynomial, that is 33482 33482.5, and then plus into s होगा यहाँ पर, into s plus 199194480. So this is just the first order polynomial, and this is the second order over here. So 0 1 2, so 20123.7 into s square, and then 118, and then so on. So and similarly we can construct any order of the system. So any order of the system means if it is of eighth order, so I can construct it from the seventh order polynomial, seventh order system, and then 6 5 4 3 2 1, any order of the system. So what is exactly going on? If I'll just think in that manner, and then I'll just say okay, this is the second order I'm getting from this eighth order. So how to check it? First I'll just give the same input to the system, and give the same input to both the system. I'll just check what is the response of the system. If we are getting the response of the system same, or maybe as same as possible, or maybe rise time, peak time, gain margin, bandwidth, or phase margin, or other parameters, we will just check over there. So this is basically the main important criteria. Second important part is preservance of the dominant pole, right? This is the case of the dominant pole. If we are just getting the reduced order model, we need to have we need to preserve the dominant pole over there, and we can discard the non-dominant pole. This is the concept. So let us see what is going on, as if we will just consider the location of poles and zeros in the system. If we are having the exact eighth order polynomial, this is basically the denominator polynomial we are bothering about. So here you can see, as we are moving downwards in this table, here if we will see, we are just moving downwards in this table, right? So we are getting the reduced order model. If we will just if we will just go through the location of poles and zeros in this way. So if we are moving towards downward side, so we can see over here that here we will be having -10 -8 -5, and here we are not having -8 -10 -5. It means what? We can correlate it with the the movement of the poles. If we are moving from downward side, the poles are moving towards the imaginary axis. right? We can say if we are moving towards the downward side, the poles are moving towards the imaginary axis. It means we are just trying to preserve the dominant pole, and we are discarding the non-dominant pole in this particular fashion, in this particular method. So this method is basically, proposed by V. Krishnamurthy and Seshadri, and proposed by, the published by the IEEE Transaction and Control System. So if you are interested, you can just go through the complete validation, complete mathematical formulation. So this is basically just the idea. I am just, I just wanted to motivate you so that you can have the feeling of the, the concept of the reduced order modeling. As I told you here, how to, how to select a suitable model, whether the second order model is suitable for the approximation part, or whether this fifth order model is suitable for this eighth order approximation. So that we need to see, that we need to analyze with the help of, providing the same input to all the systems, and providing and check the analysis, check the response of the system by analyzing with respect to different inputs also, right? That we need to understand. And obviously we have to check the stability, we have to bother about other parameters also, and obviously we need to preserve all essential characteristics of the original system into the reduced one, and up to which order we can reduce it, that also we need to see, and that also we need to fixed depending upon the application, or depending upon the requirement, that up to which we can have the compromising situation, okay, that the response is matching with the original system. That we need to see with the help of some experiments. So this is the concept. Now again, I am just trying to correlate with the design of controller for the LED driver using the SEPI converter. So as I told you in the previous one, I have taken the concept of the SEPI converter, and then we are going for the controller signal, control signal for by using this PWM technique, and the for the SEPI converter. So this PID controller is basically, if we are designing the PID controller, obviously we are going for the KPKI KD. So what is basically the suitable method by which we can get the KPKIKD? Again, a big question mark, right? Here also there is a scope of the research. We can go for the different type of controller, we can go for the different techniques of the controller to design the controller, or we can replace the with the help of, separate controller over there, or separate concept. So here what we are doing, we are just trying to find out the error, and this error is basically fed to some kind of objective function we are forming, and then this will be solved by using some proposed algorithm, so that we can have the KPKIKD, right? So here there are two possibilities. First is that I'll just keep this AP converter that is of, the same circuitry we have considered over here. It may be having fourth order, fifth order, maybe, or higher order CP converter, we can say. And I'll just design this KPKIKD. Second possibility may be there. First, I'll just reduce this AP converter, or I'll just reduce by using some any method, by using some suitable method, and I'll just design the controller with the help of this technique, or with the help of any technique maybe there. This is the technique which I have proposed in one of my research papers. So I'm just explaining this one. Otherwise we can go for the another technique. So here if I'll just second option is there, if I'll just reduce the CP converter and then I'll design the controller. So I hope that it will be easier to design the controller as compared to the higher order model, right? So for that purpose, first we will just reduce this one, and then we will design the controller. So we will be having KPK KD. So we will use the same value of KPK KD for the original CP converter. So I think it will be easier to understand, or it will be easier to design the controller, and it will be easier to simulate the controller as far as simulation time is concerned, as far as the fast dynamic response are concerned, right? So this is the main concept over here. So now, okay, now this is basically the main basic concept of the step response of the second order system. If I'll just consider over here, these are the basic equation, right? Ct is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus zeta omega nt upon under root of 1 minus zeta square, and so on. So what is in our hand over here? What is in our hand, right? We can change the zeta value over here, right? The zeta is basically depending upon the value of cos phi, or hence we can say it is of sin phi. In different factors we can define it, right? So ultimately, what is this going on over here, right? If we will just change the value of zeta, we will be having different values over here. So with the help of this thing, we would be able to understand, then if we will just change the zeta, the value of zeta over here, we will be having different waveforms over here. But now just think over here that if we would like to control the speed of the motor or the speed of the fan, right? So we are not going to change the internal parameters of that fan, isn't it? We are not going to change the internal parameter of this fan. If we are not going to change the internal parameter of this fan, then how we can change the value of zeta? So ultimately what we are doing, the concept is there that we are designing a separate circuitry. So that is basically the concept we are using to get the desired response of the system, right? We are just designing a separate circuitry over there so that we can get the desired output over there. And obviously here also we can have the location of the roots of the characteristic equation, which is basically showing the different waveforms and showing the different systems also, under damped, over damped, critically damped. So that is also, depends upon the value of zeta. So here, if we'll just see, I have just taken a simple example of the second order system and just provide the input signal to the system, and then the response is like this, right? So here we can see if we are using this without controller over here, so we will be having settling time nearby 2.5 or maybe 2.25, right? So if you will just response, if I'll just check the response with the help of PID controller by using some suitable value of this KPK KD or the tuning of this KPK KD, and if I'll just provide the same input, then we will see that output is like this, right? So over here we can see that we have reduced the 0.5, that is settling time. So in this way, but here we are getting the maximum overshoot, but in the previous one we are not getting any maximum overshoot. So we need to find out the KPK KD in such a manner so that we have to have the compromising situation, whether we are not bothering about the maximum overshoot, or whether we are not bothering about the error, or the settling time, or the steady state error. That depends, right? So that we need to compromise somehow. So this is just the MATLAB simple code, and by using the tuning method already available in the MATLAB, we can go for the different values of KPK KD, and we can get the same plot as I have shown you. So this is the MATLAB tool PID toolbox. Also, we can get the different values of the parameter KPK KD. So this is basically the main scope of the research over here, that either we can change the controller, or if we are going for the PID controller, we can change the technique. So that is basically the main part, that somehow we can have the different techniques, or we can have the new techniques, so that we can get the best value, or we can get the better value, we can say, not best value, because all the times there is a possibility of the better controller, or the better performance of the system. So here, as I have given you the SEPI converter over there, so this is basically the transfer function of the SEPI converter. As I have told you that this is the original SEPI converter. It is a fourth order, right, in that particular circuit that I have shown you, and it is given in the reference number 15, and I have taken this reference number 15. So they have designed the reduced order converter for this particular system, and I have also designed with the help of some proposed technique by using PED approximation, and then CS algorithm, that is Cuckoo search algorithm, we have used over there. And then they have proposed the method by using just PED approximation only, right? So in this way, if we will just compare the results of these two, the technique of the reduced order converter, specifically for these the SEPI converter. So this is the concept over here. There is no concept of controlling over here. This is the concept of reduction over here. So as far as the reduction is concerned, we are not bothering about the reduction of settling time, reduction of maximum overshoot, or maybe the error. But as far as the controller part is concerned, we are bothering about the reduction of all these parameters, or to get the desired value, not exactly the reduction, maybe the desired value over there. Somehow sometimes we have the lower value of the settling time, so our maximum overshoot may increase, or sometimes we are just trying to decrease the maximum overshoot, our settling time may increase, or the steady state error may affect, right? So in this way, if you will just check the response of these two systems with the help of the open loop and the closed loop manner, so we will see that the response are more or less same. If we will just go through the graphical representation, whether it is time domain, or whether it is the frequency domain. So here, this is the concept of the closed loop system. If we are using that, the response are also matching as far as the higher order converter is concerned, or the proposed reduced order converter, or the proposed reduced order converter, or the reduced order converter by the PED approximation. So what is the meaning of this thing? If suppose if we are having second order system over here, so is there any possibility in the simulation we have achieved the same response in the simulation, as far as the simulation is concerned, but practically, is it possible that we can convert this fourth order system to the second order system? That we need to see by using some experimental analysis, right? So for that purpose, we need to see that if we are getting this second order system, it means we will be having RLC in our network, or maybe other components that we need to explore. What will be the exact number of components in the circuit? What are the nature of the components in the circuit, and what are the suitable values depending upon this transfer function, that we need to find out, right? That we can, if we are going for just S square LC plus SRC plus 1, so we can calculate the RLC, numerical value of this RLC over there. Or we can have some other suitable technique by which we can find out the number of components in the circuit corresponding to this transfer function, or the value of the components corresponding to this function. That is again a big question mark. So these are the responses without controller, and these are the responses with controller. So as far as this technique is concerned, by using the pad approximation technique, so you can see over here, we will be having the less settling time, right, nearby 3 into 10 to the power minus 6, and here they are proposing this 5 into 10 to the power minus 6. So obviously there is no big difference between 10 to the power minus 6. It is almost nearer to the approaching towards 0, right? But still, if we will just go through the performance of the LED light is concerned, so this time is very responsible to make the response of the system faster as compared to the system. And obviously here, if we are getting the faster response, it might be possible that we have the short time constant. All right, so in this manner also we can think, suppose if we want the fast dynamic response, we need to reduce the time constant also. If we are increasing the time constant, it means we are having slow response as compared to this one. So if as far as the research is concerned, so we need to find out the time constant of the system, and then subsequently somehow we will try to reduce the time constant up to a particular acceptable range, and then obviously we can get the fast dynamic response. But obviously, as far as the fast dynamic response are concerned, we need to bother other parameters also. So that we have to decide, that a particular design engineer has to decide that what are the parameters on which we can compromise it, right? Otherwise it is of no use. So the value of the KPKIKD that I have achieved from the method, obviously, because so many techniques, so many concepts I have used, I have discussed over here. So for that purpose, I have not mentioned the technique in that particular paper. So if you are interested, you can just go through the research paper. This is available, as I have shown in the proposed the research work related to the LED driver circuit for controller with the help of converter, that you can find out it. So these are the concept over here, that we are getting the maximum overshoot 0 in this case, and 0 obviously with the help of this case. And then they have mentioned the compensator design also, right? The same concept we can go for the compensator design also, or we can go for the structure specified controller. Compensator is basically it is a class of that structure specified controller kind of thing, that we can go for it, right? So this is basically the comparison in terms of integral square error. If you will just go through the comparison of the integral square error, so here in this case it is of 4.2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Here it is 15 into 10 to the power minus 8, and here it is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 8. So if you will just go through the 10 to the power minus 8, it is more or less same. But as I told you, as far as the dynamic response of the circuit is concerned, it may affect a lot as far as the simulation time is concerned. So in this way, I'll just try to explain. I just try to discuss, not explain. I just try to discuss the concept of the reduced order modeling along with the concept of the SEPI converter design with the help of PID controller. So, and we have achieved that the reduced order modeling by using the optimization technique as well as the pad approximation. So here again we will be having a scope of the research, that we can go for the different maybe machine learning techniques nowadays are available. Machine learning techniques we can go for, or maybe we may be having some conventional techniques, or we can develop some new techniques so that we can have the better performance of the system, right? And this PID controller is also designed for the reduced SEPI converter, and the performance of the reduced SEPI converter is basically tested with the help of original SEPI converter. So if somehow we can solve this particular problem, that we can get the reduced order model or the reduced order transfer function of a particular system, so and we can design suitable hardware, and that hardware is also basically providing the same response, then it will be a big achievement. And obviously we can reduce the cost of the system also, and it may affect the market also. And we have seen that, okay, the SEPI converter with the help of proposed PID controller is providing the fast dynamic response as well as the better the parameters of the system. So this is all about from my side. These are a few references. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sikandar. Really wonderfully, you have explained with a simple approach, and I think those who are not familiar with the model order reductions and all those phenomena, they must have learned it today, including me. And there are some participants, three or four participants again and again asking, "Sir, can I get this PPT? Please,
Yeah, sure, sir.
please
I'll
send
share
your
with you.
PPT presentation, or is there any limitation?" Yeah, this is a question. So Doctor, Saab, please, if you agree with, then you can share this PPT to, you can
Yeah,
send it
sure,
to me. I can share it among the
sure,
candidates
sure,
here.
sure, sure.
Yeah,
I'll share it with you, and
yeah,
you can please share with all the participants
yeah,
if they are interested.
yeah. So there is a question from Aarti. Is there any limitation of reduce order modeling?
Is there any limitation of the reduced order modeling? You're right. If as far as the hardware design is concerned, because as I told you in the previous slide also, if we are going for the reduction of the a particular SEPI converter, as in this particular case, so I have shown you the simulation results over there. So this is basically the limitation of the reduced order modeling that we need to explore sometimes, that if somehow we can reduce the transfer function, so is it possible that we can get the actual circuit corresponding to this transfer function? What will be the components? As I float this research problem to all of you, if you are interested in this particular area, then you can find out the suitable ways so that we can have the exact circuitry over there. So if we can design the exact circuitry corresponding to these results, then obviously we can say that it may be the limitation of the reduced order model. If we are not able to achieve the same, if we are not able to achieve the hardware corresponding to this second order model, or it will be limited to simulation only. Yes, Aarti, I hope it is okay. Aarti ji?
Aarti, you can unmute yourself and ask it directly. I think session is open now. Anybody have any question can ask one by one.
Yes, or otherwise participants may be interested in this particular area of research. They can contact me anytime. I will be open to all, and I will be more than happy to share my experiences with the participants and with the students if they are interested in this particular area. Okay, which is the best method? OD, I think I can read it out from Hardik Agrawat, right? So which is the best method, ODE equation or the PD equation for the modeling? See, it depends upon the system, which type of system we are dealing with. So this is basically specifically, the system that the question will be there. Then if we are having PD, then how to handle this reduced order modeling, right? Because as I told you, this all the in my presentation, this is basically belongs to the ordinary differential equations only, right? If we are having a simple passive components in our circuitry, so that we can have the basic mathematical model, that is differential equation, difference equation, or maybe KVL KCL equation. So definitely we are going for the the Laplace transformation approach. So ultimately this is specifically for the ODE. So all the methods that are applicable to the ODE we may not be applicable for the partial differential equation. So for that purpose we need to go for the finite element model. So it depends upon the system. Yes, anything else, please?
So one thing I would like to ask
Yes.
you, like we do with the hardware circuitry, na? And
Yes, sir.
sometimes what happens that despite of that best precision tuning of that
Yes.
PID controller, we usually use PI controller,
Yes.
and testing it and modeling it in the circuit, but
Yes, sir.
in a real-time hardware circuit,
Yes, sir.
those PI tuning get disturbed.
Yes, sir.
Means what best we can do, we can definitely we have to reduce the circuit, reduce
Yes.
that transfer function to obtain a best PI tuned value, and then we go with that PI tuned value to that actual circuit. it
Yes.
gives some different result. I think that I'm although then at that case, what we do make some hit and trial effort to tune
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay, but can you give some reason behind that that what we are exactly making a mistake at that point?
Yes, sir. Actually, in my opinion, I think the same problem I have also faced whenever I was working in our lab. So I have designed some, PI controller or sometimes PID controllers, and then we are getting the very good results as far as the simulation results are concerned. But whenever I tried the same values in my hardware, so it was not working properly. It was not even giving the same result, the same even the results nearby the simulation results also. So that is basically the main problem, in my opinion, is that the suitable value of this KPKI KD. Because sometimes in the simulation part, as well as the some crawling methods are concerned, some optimization methods are concerned. So they are not bothering what is exactly the hardware. They are not bothering what is exactly the signal. They are just bothering what is the shape of the signal over there. So they are just trying to find out. They are just trying to modify the shape of the signal. So they are not bothering about the limitation of the suitable value of KPKI KD. So there must be some limitation so that we can, there may be realizable, practically realizable, all the values of this KPKI KD. So that we are not bothering about the range of this KPKI KD if we are going for the lower bound or upper bound of this KPKI. I think this is in my opinion.
Yeah. Dr. Saab, there is a question. If you see the chat box,
Yes, sir.
the one participant have written down that DC to AC converter from 48 volt to 230 volt.
Yes, sir.
Uh, which simulation tool is best for analysis?
See, simulation tool we can go for, depending upon the again application, we will be having MATLAB toolbox. We can have the, PSpice also. We can go for the, the PSpice software. I think it will be better if you are going for the DC to AC converter. So, but we need to see whether the libraries are available or not. So, as far as my suggestion is concerned, if you are interested for the DC to AC converter, you can go for the PSpice software for the simulation part. Dr. Champa Nandiji, yeah. Can you suggest which software is good for this sort of controller design analysis? See, I have not compared with the other one, but still I am using the MATLAB only. So if you can go for the PSpice software designing, then obviously it will be good one. But still I am going for the MATLAB only. Yes, any participant, please. I would be happy to discuss because sometimes it might be possible that I will also explore new things if we will just discuss. Uh, yes, any participants? Thank you so much for your kind, comments. That okay, nice presentation. I'll share with my presentation if you are interested. Rajesh Bhatt sir also is talking about the. Yes, Rajesh Bhatt sir. Thank you so much, sir. You are also there.
I think Rajesh Bhattji have just left the meeting.
Okay.
He was telling me in the morning that I will be there just for joining your lecture. He
Oh,
is
that's
having
very
his
good.
online class at 3 o'clock.
Okay, okay,
So I think his class time is there, and
okay,
might be getting to that class. He was
okay,
there for the full time, and yeah.
okay.
So thank you, Dr. Sikandar. It was any participant having any question. Although Dr. Sikandar have shared his email ID at the chat box, and he will be sharing the PPT with us, and I will be sharing in the group, and
Yeah, sure, sir.
you can have it. And Dr. Sikandar, I really tell you, you have taken this topic in a very sincere and sincere manner, I mean, simplified manner, I'd rather say, that anybody who don't know the aspect of model order reduction or the things to make the design, he can understand it within these 20 minutes of your presentation that you have taken it part. And your visualization and to the things is really good, really, and our all the participants have benefited with that. That's why there is so much demand of your PPT have
Oh,
arisen.
thank you so much.
So thank you for accepting our invitation and sharing your thought with us and giving the wonderful lecture at the platform. I'm really thankful to you. Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to add one important point to the participants, those who are interested in this, the PPT and all the reduced order modeling concept and the hardware designing. Sometimes we are limited to simulation only. So recently we are working on a particular CSIR sponsored research project. It is of approximately 35 lakhs. So specifically, it is related to the hardware designing corresponding to this reduced order modeling only. So it is, 1.5 year has been over. So we are working on that particular project. So if you are interested, you can please, go through the literature, go through the different, existing methods available in the literature, and think in that manner, so that how we can contribute in the research community. So it is my, humble request or humble suggestions to all the participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your, this inviting me and the discussion with this nice discussion with the participants.
Thank you,
sir.
thank you, thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you for this wonderful session today. Thank you, participants, and we will be having our next session with Professor Sanjeev Singh at 4 o'clock. So till then, we will have a break, and we'll be meeting again at 4 o'clock. Thank you.